Hi everyone, welcome back to Grow Kit. So it's just going to be a quick video today. I've just bought this fruit tree here. This is a cherry Sunburst. It should be quite nice. It's a nice big tree, about 6 foot tall, but it comes bare rooted. So when I received it, it was wrapped up in just cling film and then in a bag. So the first day I got it, I just took it out and dumped it in this bucket with a bit of water and a bit of compost. So it's been in there for a couple of days now. So today I'm just going to show you how I'm going to pot that up. Ideally fruit trees need to be in the ground, but if you've got a big enough pot, there's no reason why you can't grow any tree in a pot. So I'll flip the camera around and I'll get started and I'll show you what I'm up to. Okay, so like I said, all I've done since I got this tree is unwrapped the root ball and taken it out of the bag and placed it in this bucket with some damp compost. Just make sure the roots are covered up. So this is a cherry tree. Sunburst is the variety. Superb mid-season cherry with good sized fruits. Perfect for eating fresh, so the kids will love these. So it's quite a big tree. It's about the same height as me, so it's about 6 foot. Nice thick trunk on it. So this is the pot I've chosen for it. This is a 30 or 40 litre pot, so should be plenty big enough for now. Okay guys, so we're ready to plant this cherry tree into our container now. So most important thing is that it's got good drainage. So as you can see, there's quite a few holes in the bottom of this pot. We're not bothered about the leaves and stuff in the bottom. Eventually they'll break down and actually feed the plant. So first things first, what I'm going to do is I've got some sand just lying around, which has been sat outside for ages, so it's well and truly washed any salt out of it. Just be careful if you do buy builder's sand, it can contain quite a lot of salt, so it's best to rinse it first before you use it. But I'm just putting a couple of buckets of sand in the bottom of this pot. It just improves the drainage, and I'll mix it in a little bit with the first layer of compost that I put in. It's also got some quite big stones and stuff in it as well, so it's all good for improving drainage. So the next thing we're going to do is take our tree. See, it's got some lovely roots there. We're gonna, when you put it in, this bit here, you can see where the wood's slightly different. This is where it was grafted onto the rootstock. This is the rootstock. This is the grafted variety of cherry. So it's two trees grafted together. The original tree there and the variety of cherry tree here. The reason they do that is because it improves the strength and vigour of the tree. So you want to bury it just below where the rootstock joins. Don't bury that. Just bury the main rootstock. And first things first, we're going to place it into the pot and try and spread the roots out as much as you can. Just get all the big ones facing opposite directions, so that when they do start growing new roots, they spread out evenly around the pot. And try and make sure it's almost central. Right, so that's more or less where we want it. This is quite hard to do whilst holding it still, but as soon as you get a bit in there, it'll hold it up. That's the first load of compost in there. And we're just going to mix it in with the sand at the bottom. And then we'll carry on filling this up right until almost the top. Okay, so we're almost done filling this up with compost now. It can be any multi-purpose compost. If you've got some sand lying around, you can mix that in just to make your compost go a bit further. Because sand's really cheap, and compost isn't so cheap unless you make your own. This is just store-bought Durston's multi-purpose compost. I'll show you the bag for it. This is the stuff I use for most things. This is really good stuff. So if you're looking for a good brand of compost, you can't go wrong with that stuff. So we're almost done now. So we just level it off and gently pat it down to remove any air pockets. But the rain will settle it all down eventually, and you can top up the compost in a few weeks' time. Like I said, in a few weeks' time this will settle down. You'll probably lose about 2 or 3 inches of what's in here by the time it's settled around the roots and stuff, once it's had a few good soak-ins. And then you can just top it up again. Try and make sure your tree's straight as you can, don't worry too much. The tree doesn't care particularly. And the next thing, if you've got a nice sheltered position, you can skip the next stage. But I'm just going to put a stake in and tie it on, because I'm in mid Wales and it's rather windy here most of the time. So I've just got this, just a bit of stud wood, whatever you call it, CLS or whatever. But I'm just going to place it quite close to the tree but not touching. And press it all the way in. The sand in the bottom also helps to sturdy your support. So, and to save waste, we're going to reuse the cling film that came with the wrapped around the roots of the tree. So I'm going to reuse that to tie the tree to the stake. Try and avoid any rubbing branches. And if you wrap it around the tree a couple of times first, and then you'll get like a protective layer before it hits the post. So we just tie this on here, as long as it holds the tree securely to the post. Doesn't matter how you tie it on. You can just use string, but I like to reuse as much as I can, so I'm just reusing this cling film. That's perfect because it's nice and spongy. Alright, so now all we need to do really is to water it in. If it's dry where you are, give it a good old soak. I've got my water here. Not that I really need it because it's actually raining outside at the moment, and this is going to go straight outside. So, but if it's dry at the moment where you are, you want to keep this very well watered for the first couple of weeks at least, until the roots have established. But if you're buying it in the winter like I am and it's dormant, which is the time where most fruit trees will be available, you can just put it outside and it'll get plenty of water from the rain. Okay guys, so there's our cherry tree, all nicely potted up. Our bare rooted cherry tree. It's actually quite tall, it's about 6.5 foot. Now it's in the pot, it's almost 7 foot. But this was only about £5. You could buy it in its pot already, but you'd pay a lot more for it, for an established tree. But basically they just dig these up from the ground. They don't normally have a massive amount of roots on them, but by the time spring comes along, it won't take long for the roots to recover, and we probably won't get cherries this year, but maybe next year I might get a few, but we'll see. Anyway guys, I'll get back to you in a second. Alright everyone, so that's about it for today. So we've potted up our cherry tree into this nice big pot here. Like I said before, ideally fruit trees in the ground, but if you can't, then you can get away with them in big pots. You just have to keep it well watered in the summer, and every now and then give it a feed or top up the compost. So anyway guys, any questions, if you leave a comment, any feedback, also leave a comment, and don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't already done so and you enjoyed the video, if you could subscribe, that would be great. So I think that's about it for today. So thanks a lot for watching everyone, and I'll see you next time.